Welcome to Martha Runs the World, a podcast with a new take on running, fitness, and all things health-oriented. I'm Martha Hughes, your host, and each week I present a new topic that is of interest to all runners. Hi, and welcome to episode 357 of Martha Runs the World. As we get closer to the end of this year, and I can't believe it's mid-November already. Actually, it's past mid-November. So it's crazy how fast this year has gone. And every year goes by fast, so that's nothing unusual. But as we get closer to the end of 2025, I start thinking about what I want to accomplish next year. And some of us runners are micro planners. Some of us plan out every race in the new year, down to the micro detail, down to every little detail. We plan out everything. Now, I'm not really one of those people. I'll plan out as much as I can, but I like to leave a lot of leeway and things in case things go wrong or in case my plans change. Many people know what races they're going to run or what races they plan on running. Maybe they've signed up for as many races as they can ahead of time. Some races don't open up until the new year. Some don't open up until the later races in the year don't open up until spring or so. But if they're already open, they might want to sign up for them already. Maybe there's a dream race you want to do next year. So if it's opened up, you sign up immediately for it. Some races sign up already the day after they happen for the next year, and they give you a really good discount on price entry. So why not sign up for it as soon as you can? If you get that discount, why not? It's a great deal. Some people have a dream race they want to run next year. So some people are planning on doing Boston, New York, Leadville, if you can get into those races, of course. Is there something else you want to plan for? So you have to plan out travel, you have to plan out vacation time. Everything has to be done months in advance. Well, life likes to make things interesting. Sometimes our plans don't go the way we want them to, or we dreamed they would go. And then other times they actually go better than we think they will. A wise person said, "It's not what happens, it's how we react to what happens that matters." I had heard this throughout my life, but I'm a slow learner sometimes, and I really didn't understand what it meant until I gained sobriety. As an active alcoholic, everything was a catastrophe. Even little things could toss me into a tailspin that might take me months to recover. For those who never experienced the darkness of that type of addiction, and I don't care if that comes from alcohol, drugs, depression, or something else, it can take a long, long time to get out of it. And some people never do. It's truly debilitating. It feels like one's entire world has collapsed and nothing can make it right again. But with sobriety came light, and with light came hope. And with hope came the ability to find my way, to see that there really was a better way to look at the world around me. Not everything and not everyone was out to get me. The world was not my enemy. And it was such a more freeing way to think of life. It was a joyful way to look at life. And no, the world was not centered around me. Things were not out to get me. It wasn't all about me, was it? I bring all this up as a roundabout way to say that even in our darkest hour, we will find our way. We will. I've seen many videos of truly great runners who have serious injuries and then make emotional videos too soon asking if this is the end of their running. I realize that many things are done just for views, but sometimes it's a good thing to not start recording so quickly, but to stop and ask, are these feelings temporary? Am I justified in feeling so down right now? What exactly did the doctor tell me? I think that last one really needs some thinking. Listen to what the doctor tells you, truly. All valid questions, right? We may think this is it, no more running, and very few times that may be true. But maybe it's no more running for now. And in a week, that same creator will make another clear-headed video saying that everything will be all right. So maybe instead of jumping on the fire truck so quick, shouting, "Fire, fire, the house is burning," maybe take a little bit extra time and think, okay, things are bad now, but perhaps they will be better in a little bit. Like I said, some people just do things just for the clicks and to get people to watch, but I kind of get tired of those. And if that's the kind of creator it is, I won't watch many more of their videos personally. I don't like that kind of stuff. That's drama, and I don't need more drama in my life. So, the most important thing to remember when big events or when big, not great events happen is it might not be the end of the world. Panicking never leads to anything good. That's the first thing. Deal with the issue, take the time, and running will be there for you when you're ready. Before we jump to any conclusions or panic, we should stop and ask ourselves, is this temporary? And remember, if we went to the doctor, we should ask the doctor, the physical therapist, how long will rehab take? How long will it be till I can run again? And if they're decent, they'll tell you. Now think about difficult times you've had before. How did you handle them? Did you not handle them well? Okay, now is the time you can go back and correct that and maybe not feel so devastated for so long. I didn't handle things well in my past. I hope I'm making up for it now by handling them much better. People said after my hip surgeries, I have had both hips replaced, I was back walking and running very quickly. I probably wouldn't have handled such devastating surgery so well in my earlier days. I wasn't very good patient back then, let me tell you. Thinking back to all those times I thought the world was against me, I feel almost silly, but it's how I was. As if the massive universe cares about my little life pangs. It really doesn't. The world doesn't care about what you're going through, trust me. By realizing that this event is just a small event in our lives, just a little notch, it can make getting through it a tiny bit less disruptive. If we look at it in the big picture of things, in the huge giant picture of things, it's just a little notch, all right? Now, if this interruption is the type that truly is life-changing, then it's going to take a little bit more time and more adjustments. Maybe you'll never run again. Maybe that's something that was truly there. Or maybe you're told this. Do you know how many people were told they'd never run again and they wind up going out and running? If running truly isn't in your future, then in time you'll find something else that is. It could be swimming, hiking, cycling, or something else, but you'll find something. Don't limit yourself to just saying, I don't run anymore. Find something else that you can do. And what happens if you complete a race you've really wanted to finish, say your first ultramarathon, a 50K or 50-miler, and you find that that distance really isn't for you? You've heard all the hype from all the very vocal ultra runners posting endlessly, all the race companies advertising about how great 100-milers are, but you're not really into it. Sometimes in the ultra running world, there seems to be a feeling that if you don't chase after hundos, you're not a true ultra runner. Well, I completely disagree with this. And if you're not an ultra runner, who cares? If you finished 150K, you run ultras. Whether you go back and do more is completely up to you. If you decide that it's not for you, so that's you, and I respect that. If you are on a dirt trail, a rocky or paved road, your course isn't mine, and mine isn't anyone else's. We each have a course to follow, and it's up to us to decide where that leads. No one else gets to determine where our future lies. Unfortunately, some of the most judgmental people I've met have been in ultra running. There aren't many of them with this snobby bad attitude, but there are some. They are there, and they're always in groups. I don't know why. Dodge them, ignore them, freeze them, don't talk to them, don't give them any oxygen, really, just totally block them. They have no business in our lives. We don't need that negativity. There's already enough negativity out there. We don't need them. Now, of course, there are other ways for changes to happen in our running lives that doesn't involve extended injury or illness. A negative or positive change in our personal relationships have huge impacts on running and training. Going through a breakup, especially a long-term one, can really hurt or even put an end to our running. We can go into a funk that lasts a long time, not to mention the added drama. But remember, the most important rule: make no decision on your running future when you're in an emotional state. No matter how down you're feeling or how much you feel like stopping running, once you've had some time to think about it, you may change your mind. So don't make any decisions when you're in that really low state. And that's a good rule for life, isn't it? Sometimes, if you're going through a particularly rough breakup, and I've been through a couple of these, the best thing you can do is go out on a run. Go out to a beautiful spot. It doesn't matter if it's a trail or road. Just make sure it's nice, and hopefully not too many other people. Listen to your favorite music. This is the one time that I say listen to music on the trail is fine. Just be aware of your surroundings. Take lots of breaks. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to shout, shout. Your run isn't going to make everything better, but of course, it will help you release some frustration and pain, which is what you need. And the run will truly help you with that. Divorces, especially ones that involve kids, can create such emotional upheaval that if you abandon your running, it's completely understandable. And if you take a step back for a while, you shouldn't feel bad or guilty about it. It's probably true that no one but ourselves is going to make us feel as guilty about canceling plans because of something like a hard or messy breakup. But so many of us go through it that give yourself love and kindness. You know the phrase, be kind? Sometimes we're kind to everyone else, but we're not kind to ourselves, and we really need to be. And in the opposite direction, when we are in new relationships, we sometimes get so caught up that we abandon our training or our running. I think that's a huge mistake because we're not being true to the new person in our life. Hey, if they're going to be with us, they got to get used to the fact that we're going to spend a lot of time on road and trail away from them. That's just the truth. And they might as well understand that from the beginning, as far as I'm concerned. Even if they are runners, don't go running with them 100% of the time. New love is fun and exciting, but you also need to carve out time and space for your own solo training. I'm not saying to confess your love of spending hours on the trail in the middle of nowhere on the first date, unless you start dating another ultra runner, and then they'd understand that. Another ultra runner is probably the only person who won't think you're off your rocker. Unless you want to get rid of your date. I would say don't do that. I mean, if you want to, if the person is a total loser and you want to get rid of them, start talking about ultra running. They will be gone in a flash. Our job situations can also play havoc with our running. Heck, our lives can play havoc with our running. But with jobs, yeah, that's another situation that brings a lot of change. When I lost my job in 2020, everything was locked down under COVID, but I still snuck out and got my runs in. I had to. I couldn't stay inside. Especially after learning that the leaders of my state were out going to dinners and shindigs. How is that fair? But anyway, I digress. I remember the wife of an ex-Facebook friend admonishing my friend and myself for going on trail runs while we were supposed to stay at home. Nope. I was not going to stay home and do nothing. Losing a job is so disheartening and soul-crushing. We need to take the time to feel sorry for ourselves, But once that's over, and once we start putting together a resume, which is to me another soul crushing activity, we should also think about going for a run. It doesn't have to be long, and it doesn't have to be considered training either. Just go out for a few miles, if only to shake off the frustration of not working. Now, on the other side of the coin, when we start new jobs, we can be overwhelmed by what we need to know about that job, and there may be no time for a run, or we think there's no time for a run. We get home, we're tired, we don't feel like going out. And give yourself a little bit of time, and after the initial learning phase, we should find that time, even if we have to force ourselves to go out for runs. And carve out some regularly scheduled time for runs, because that will make it much easier to go out and you look forward to it, and it'll become part of your routine once more. I'm in a Facebook group for retired people. Even though I'm not yet retired, I find it really helpful to get some tips and some hints about how to do things once I do retire. There was this one post where this poster asked about things she and her husband could do now that they're retired, which is weird because I always have something to do. She said when she worked, she had no time for hobbies. See, this is odd to me. I've never had a job that was so all-encompassing that that's all I did. I've never been about my job. My job provides pay so that I can do the fun activities I like. I've always had hobbies and interests outside of my work. My work was never my life. My job was never, when people ask me about my job, I'd rather tell them about what I do outside of my job. That way of thinking about what your job is your life was never my way of thinking. Am I strange for being that way, or is someone who only works and does very little else strange? I guess I just never had that my job is my identity type thing. Well, I think most of us runners aren't like that. We have running. We'd rather talk about running than our job. I believe that would be 99% of us, right? Don't ask me about my job. Ask me about running. Let's talk running. Running will always be a part of our lives unless we allow a new job to smother us so much that we forget about running. And how many runners are going to allow a job to smother us so we don't run? Really, how many of us? I see hands. Okay, I don't see any, so I don't think anyone is going to allow that to happen. Now, we said changes happen for better or worse. Now, let's get to the better, because I'd never like to end on a negative. What happens if your race goes amazing? It goes better than you ever thought it would. And you get a PR, you just ran perfectly and everything went great. What do you do then? Do you jump in to sign up for another race immediately and start into another training cycle? Or do you take the time to appreciate it and just enjoy it for a while, to reflect on what worked, what went well, maybe put it into your running journal, everything that went great that day, so you can actually duplicate that for another race. I think it's important to take time off if you have a great race. Don't sign up for another race immediately unless that race is a training race for a bigger race you're doing. But if this was a race that you trained for and you did it so well that it shocked you, I don't think you should jump into another race right away. I think you should take some time off. I'm not saying don't run. Definitely go run, but don't make it serious training runs. Go for the love of the joy of running. Go for appreciation of running and reflect on your race and figure out what you did right and see about building on that in future runs and future races. I think too many of us, especially us amateur runners, we don't take the time to appreciate the great races we have, and we don't take a lot of time off like professional runners do. Professional runners take a lot of time off in between their races. They don't race all the time, and amateurs race all the time. I think that's one of the flaws of amateur runners is that we race too much. Some people race every weekend, and I know they do it for fun. It isn't like a professional runner who actually is serious about their races. It's just more a social thing for amateurs, usually. But if you have a really, really good race that you've trained for months, and you do it spectacularly, take the time off and just appreciate it. Okay, so that is the changes, and these are just some thoughts that I had on big changes that happen in our lives. If the changes are momentous enough, then we can put running aside and know we'll get back to it eventually. I hope that each of us lead long running lives, and when we do, we know that there will be changes throughout those lives. That's just part of life. Change is going to happen no matter what we like it or not, and we might as well roll with it, right? We can get through this. I know we can. And it's not going to be this disastrous thing that happens. We can handle it. I know we can. As runners, we can get through this. We can. It's all right. It may be hard. It may be painful, but yeah, we can do it. All right. So how is your running going? Mine is going quite well. I got a couple really nice runs in this weekend. I've lost some weight too. I've lost about 5 pounds. I feel really good. I've been eating much, much healthier. I've cut out a lot of junk. I've also started making these pickled vegetables, and they're really good. I made pickled ginger, pickled radishes, pickled green beans, pickled, what else did I make? Oh, I know I made something else. Pickled carrots. The radishes are really good. I'm not even a fan of raw radishes, but pickled radishes are amazing. Oh my gosh, they're good. These are just the little regular red radishes. Like I said, I don't really like them raw, but oh my gosh, they're good pickled. And I put some onions in with them too. And oh my gosh, it's just so delicious. Anyway, it's not a food or cooking podcast, but pickled vegetables. Excellent, excellent. They're so yummy and they're really good. So I've been making those. I've been eating those a lot. And it's so inexpensive just to get those little 8-ounce mason jars, the small ones. It's a perfect size. And they pickle overnight, so you can start eating them right after the next morning. They're nice and cold, and they're really, really good and really easy, especially if you have leftover vegetables from like salads that you haven't eaten. Just put them in there. And yeah, they're really, really good for your system, apparently. So I've been really starting to eat a lot healthier, and my running is going pretty well. Today is rainy. I do need to get out. I might go for just a short one today, and then tomorrow's my longer one, and then I have a long week at work. But yeah, it's going okay. So I hope you are having excellent runs, and I hope your week is going well. The website address is martharunstheworld.com, and if you want to email me, it's martharunstheworld@gmail.com. And that is it for today. So thank you so much for joining me. It's always appreciated. And let's tie up our shoelaces and go for a run.